Good morning, friends. It's that time again where the world makes its shift, at least this part of the world, from night to new day, from old week to new week, from all that we've known to all that is to come, or sunrise, whichever you want to call it. And hopefully, there's some clouds back there, but hopefully we're going to see a pretty one. But I've been thinking this week about something from my childhood. As a child, I had this funny feeling that if I knew everything, that I would die. Like somehow sort of the goal of life is to know all of it. And if you know all of it, then there's no more reason to be alive, so you die. And setting aside the complete arrogance of like an adolescent child thinking they could know everything, it just seems kind of wild, doesn't it? And at the same time, at almost 40, it'll be 40 this year, I'm sort of coming back to that idea, but not in the same way. Not in the way that if I figure out life, then I die and I'm not alive anymore. But in a whole other way, where what is dying about me are the things that were never real about me anyway. There is a kind of death as I grow. There is a kind of undoing as I become. The undoing, the dying, is of what Richard Rohr would call the false self. This idea of all these things I'm supposed to be, all this thinking that it's not enough, that I have to do more, that I am merely a product of my productivity and what I bring to the world. That part of you that's anxious and reactive and swayed by popular opinion. That part of you that tells you all the shoulds. You should be this, you should do this, this is what it's supposed to look like, this is how you know you're successful. This is how you're supposed to parent. This is how you're supposed to do your job. All of those things. Those are the things that get way tied up in our identity and who we think we are. And to peel them away can be quite painful and can, in fact, feel like death. But as that part of me dies, there's room for another part of me. And this is, Richard Rohr would call this the true self, the self that is unmoved, the self that really knows me, the self that is fully alive, that is fully engaged, the space where the divine and the human meet in each of us. That sounds better, right? This sort of idea of death and resurrection, we're so afraid of losing what we know, and yet, what does it make space for? There's this Bible verse that's, so good, that says, we strain out gnats and swallow camels. We are afraid of losing these parts of ourselves, how we understand the world, how we understand ourselves, our metrics and markers of, success. But those are gnats. Meanwhile, we're missing the big stuff. Missing the big stuff about where ourself and God connect. We're missing the proclamation in a sunrise that something new is beginning. We're missing the chance to be fully alive when we're focused on all the things we think we should be and aren't. So it's a journey, right? And no journey is just, straightforward up and to the right the whole time. Journeys are often a few steps forward and a few steps back. We get sucked into the drama, or we get sucked into false beliefs about ourselves that we're not enough just the way we are, that our bodies aren't right, that our brains aren't right, that we're not smart enough, good enough, healthy enough, Okay, by whose standard? Because I can tell you that when I listen to the true voice, the voice of God, it never tells me I'm not enough. 100% of the time, when I feel really tuned in with who I know God to be, I hear, you are enough. I hear, you're doing a good job, girl, just keep it up. This is all part of it. You are loved. You are so loved, and I'm so proud of you. And I think the more you tune into that voice, which who doesn't want to hear that, the less space there is for the voices that tell you you're not. Because those voices aren't real. It's just starting to get pink, and I'm hopeful that in a few moments, see just the top little part of that sun come over. Remind us that we're always being made new, just as each day is made new. Remind us that while each day is a little different, while each one of us is a little different, that it's beautiful and more than adequate and totally appropriate for the day. You know, a few weeks ago we talked about what if we believed everything was just as it should be right now. Not finished, not perfect, but just where it should be. What kind of space for peace and acceptance, non-anxious presence that could provide. May you go forth into your day knowing that you are enough just as you are. May you go forth into your day knowing that you are good, knowing that you are loved, knowing that you are exactly as you should be in this moment, knowing that you are free to keep becoming and letting the parts of you that say you're not enough die, making space for resurrection, for new life, for new light, for new day. I love you, my friends, and I'm going to let you watch some of this sunrise before we depart. Grace and peace.